Well, as requested by a contact, I'm going to briefly discuss my encounters with ETs and extraterrestrials, UFOs, things of that nature. Specifically, I'll be talking about possible abductions. Um, I'll first like to start off by thanking everyone for watching. And secondly, the term abduction, I'm very distraught over. Uh, we don't use the term abduction. Those of us who experience this, well, most of us. An abductor is someone who has malicious intent or intends to do bodily harm. They don't intend to bring that person back. I like to say that I've been taken. Even those people who say that they've had invasive procedures done or what have you, when we talk about possible pregnancies and removal of fetuses and things of that nature, these people are still alive, and but I understand that it's a traumatic experience. But human scientists do the same things to creatures in the wild for research purposes. Again, briefly, I started seeing alien spacecraft in 1997, in the spring of that year, and my first possible abduction was in sometime in late September, early October of 2007. It was after I met a mystic who saw one of my videos posted on YouTube, and this person was very interested in myself and my story. And they asked me straight up if I was ready for the truth or not. And mockingly, I said sure. And they said that they had a personal relationship with extraterrestrials, which I did not believe at the time. I thought it was ridiculous. But the only reason I kept the conversation going is because this person knew a lot of personal information about myself that no one else knew, not even my parents. So I was very intrigued by this person. And sure enough, later on that day, after our 3 to 4 hour conversation, as I was reading a book, I fell asleep. I will admit it was a UFO related book. When I awoke, I was aware. I have experienced sleep paralysis before, but this was different. I was aware. I could move my eyes, but I couldn't move any body parts. And what awoke me was the sound of someone jiggling my door handle on my living room door and pushing the door. You could feel the pressure. And I was a little afraid because I couldn't move, and I knew someone was trying to get in. And then there was a soft female voice outside of the door that said, "We're not here to harm you. Don't worry, and you don't need to grab your firearm." And which was astonishing to me at the time, because that's what I was thinking of, trying to grab my firearm, which was on the coffee table. After I was able to move, sure enough, I grabbed my firearm, opened the door, and no one was there. So I know now that there was a test, and I failed the test. But the second time, that same week that this happened, in late September, early October of 2007, that same week, this incident happened on a Saturday, so maybe a Monday or Tuesday. I'll have to look at my journal. I had what's called missing time. 2 nights in a row, back to back, I woke up at 3:08 a.m. on the dot, out of a dead sleep, which was something I'd never done before. And I just woke up in a cold sweat, and my body was in such intense heat. It was just, I didn't know what was going on. But what was so astonishing about this is that when I woke up and looked at the clock, it said 3:08 a.m. Before I could blink, my alarm went off, and the clock said 5 o'clock a.m., where it was time for me to get up and go to work. So there was 2 hours completely missing. I did not go back to sleep. All I know is that 2 hours just vanished, and I don't know where they went. This was 2 nights in a row, so altogether 4 hours unaccounted for. Since then, there have been other encounters. I have seen 3 beings while I'm fully awake, just walk through my window without opening it or anything, and approach me as I was lying on the couch. And as I reached out my hand to them, I was not unconscious, not physically, but somehow I was rendered unconscious. This point in my life, I'm pretty comfortable with these experiences because I've come to call them my family, in fact, which I believe to be true. The most significant experience where I was taken happened on the last weekend of February in 2008. It was a Saturday. I was asleep on my couch, and when I awoke, I was not on my couch anymore. I knew immediately where I was. I was in some type of spacecraft, or who knows, maybe some type of base somewhere, maybe not even on this planet. And it was just beautiful. It was a large room with so many people in there, people of all races, black, white, Latino. It was just gorgeous. Asian, everyone was up there, and they were all wearing white, like white jumpsuits, and everything was white. It was a bright light. I call it a dining hall because there were literally, this room was so big, there was hundreds of benches there. It looked like white picnic benches, but they weren't picnic benches. And people were eating out of these silver trays, just eating and mingling, and I felt kind of embarrassed because I was the only person that didn't have one of those jumpsuits on. I was wearing some dirty socks and a dirty tank top. My bed clothes were exactly what I wore to sleep. So I knew that I was awake. I could feel the cold floor under my feet. And someone was holding my left hand. They were much shorter than I was. I was not allowed to see their face. So I would assume it could be a gray alien. I'm not sure about that. I'm not 100% accurate. Anyway, this same experience, I was led to a woman who was eating out of one of the silver trays, but she was not completely human. She was a Caucasian looking woman, and she had an elongated skull that you see sometimes in ancient Egypt artifacts. Some of the sculptures, she had an elongated skull, completely bald. Beautiful woman, but when I saw her eyes, I saw her black eyes, and they were just incredible. I wasn't afraid, but I wasn't expecting to see that. And she knew I was there before I even spoke to her. She just looked up at me, and when I saw her eyes, my heart kind of jumped. And that's the last memory that I have of that. The next memory is me standing on my balcony waving goodbye, happily to a silver cylindrical shaped craft. And when the craft blasted off, it made an incredible noise like thunder. And I assumed fire was coming out of the back of the craft. And my heart jumped again. And the next memory I have is me getting up on the couch. So those are pretty much my experiences in a nutshell. There have been others. Recently, as much as 3 weeks ago, I was on the couch, and the thing is, when they come, they put you on a paralysis for a reason, to keep yourself from hurting yourself and possibly hurting them. But in my stubbornness, I always try to fight paralysis. This time, it was interesting because when it happened, I knew they were there because you can feel the energy, and plus I was under paralysis. So I just submitted, and I said, okay, hello. But I said it telepathically because you can't speak. I said hello, and I said, I know who you are. And as soon as I said that, I know who you are, I don't know what happened. It was just like I started floating, or it felt like my soul was leaving my body, honestly. But I think I started floating, and it was just a peaceful feeling, and I have no more recollection after that. Those are pretty much my so-called abduction experiences in a nutshell. There are others, but those can be debatable. They could be merely dreams, but the ones that I mentioned, I'm pretty sure happened. So thank you for watching.